Okay, you guys, I just want to put a disclaimer out there, okay? I am in no way, shape, or form a professional. So this is just based off of my experience and what I have found to work for me and my hair.
Shorty bad, slim, thick. She might drug, she might fix. And I'm all up in her mix. She be mixing with the ribs. She the plug, she finesse. She the one they call the gauze.
Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a short video just going through some of the reasons why your hair is not growing. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Alrighty, so the first reason why your hair is probably not growing is cue music. Genetics. I know a lot of people don't usually speak on this and they don't like to speak on this, but I just feel like you guys, genetics obviously play a huge role in our makeup as human beings, you know. That's what differentiates us from one person to the next person. So obviously genetics are going to play a huge role on how long your hair grows, how fast your hair grows, if your hair can grow. Like if your daddy bald-headed and your mama bald-headed, you probably gonna be bald-headed too, you know. That's just how genetics work.
I said what I said.
But on a serious note though, like genetically we all have different phases that our hair grows. Some people's phase, I think it's called the anagen phase. I'm not too sure. I will I don't know, probably put it somewhere on the screen. It is a phase where our hair grows, and after this phase our hair doesn't really grow afterwards. So other people's one is longer than others, and some people also have faster growth rates and others have slower growth rates, you know what I'm saying? So keeping that in mind, I feel like you need to obviously think, even if I follow this person's routine or whatever, my hair might not necessarily grow as fast as this person because of genetics. Genetics play a huge role, you guys. We cannot overlook that. We just simply can't, you know. And point number 2 is over manipulation. I can't stress this enough, you guys. I feel like when you handle your hair too much, it's gonna cause breakage, and then you're gonna think, oh, my hair is not growing, but it's like, no, you're being counterproductive. Your hair is growing at the roots, but then you don't see that it's growing because it's breaking off at the ends, which are the most fragile parts. So if you constantly going in and out of different protective hairstyles, if let's say you leave your hair out and then today you're doing bantu knots, tomorrow you're doing twist styles, the next day you're doing a different hairstyle, your hair is going to break, okay? Your hair is going to break. It's not going to flourish, you know. I do recommend that you keep your hair in a stretched hairstyle most of the time, especially for me. My hair shrinks, you guys. My hair shrinks to a point of non-existent. My hair stays up to here all the time, even though when it's stretched it's up to here now. So it's just that's why I always have it either in a bun like this, or this is a small puff. Anyway, so I always keep it like this if I'm gonna wear it out, especially on rainy days like today. Or if I want to wear it out when I go to bed, I'm gonna tie it up in a puff or anything like that, because as soon as your hair shrinks, it's more prone to knots and matting up and things like that, and combing that out is gonna be a hassle and it's gonna cause unnecessary breakage that could have been avoided. So I always recommend that you keep your hair in a very stretched type of style if you are gonna wear it out, but just don't be manipulating it every single day, you know what I'm saying? And then point number 3 is heat. I don't like to tell people don't use heat, but at the same time, I know when let's say, can you see how I'm wearing my hair out now? I don't know if you guys can see my texture, but my hair is very coily, very, very coily. And this, I haven't done anything to my hair except put the spray that I always use, the Java Stone spray. And I will literally walk out like this and people ask me what did you do to your hair to get it to look like that, or what products did you use to get it to look like that? And I don't like being asked that question, because I feel then it gives people the impression that they can just use one product and their hair is gonna look like this. And I truly just feel that's not the case. I've been natural multiple times before. I remember in high school I was natural as well, and that's when the whole natural community started blowing, well, I don't want to say blowing up, you know, but I feel that's when it started rising, and there was more videos available to us on YouTube and stuff to just, you know, so we know how to better take care of our hair. So when that was all like on the rise, people would be like, oh, I have 4C hair, I have 4B hair, and I'll be like, I must have 4Z hair because this ain't it. Like, this is definitely 4Z because I don't see no curl pattern, I don't see nothing. Like, it was just hair. It was really just hair. I don't even know how to explain it. And that's because I feel like at that time I was using heat religiously, you guys. Every time I'd have my hair out, if it's not in a protective hairstyle, I'd be blow drying it, you know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't even be using heat protectors and all of that. I would comb my hair. I don't use combs right now, but I mean, that's not really for everyone. But I feel like these things that I'm mentioning have really helped with my curl pattern. Now I actually see that I do have a curl pattern, and it is very dense, but it is there, okay? And I had no idea that I had one. Oh my goodness, wow, you guys, like my phone just decided I'm not gonna record anymore. I don't even know where it stopped recording because I don't have the time to be like going through the whole video, but I think I stopped at point 3, which was like, limit the amount of heat that you use on your hair, because that's gonna just cause breakage, you guys, and it's gonna cause a whole lot of damage to your hair. You won't see your curl pattern, you won't think you don't have one, but in actual fact you do. It's just damage to a point of non-existence. Okay, listen, and I'm not saying by no means like be like me, like, oh, I don't use heat at all, even though I'm probably gonna use heat this year. I think once I've reached like mid-back length, I'm definitely gonna straighten my hair. Listen, okay, it's been 2 years in the making, so I'm honey. I can't wait. Point number 4 is to ditch the salon. Ditch the salon, you guys. Don't do it. Like, it's just no. I've heard so many horrible stories from people. The hairstylist will put relaxer in a person's hair without their permission, to them like blow drying your hair with like a thin ass comb, not using heat protectors when they do blow dry your hair. They don't even detangle your hair, you guys. They just go in and they just start blow drying your hair, going in with a thin ass comb on top of that. Like, do you understand how much breakage that causes? Like, if you are gonna stick to having a hairstylist or going to the salon, please be sure to find a stylist that actually knows how to work with natural hair, because so many of them that I've seen, you guys, no, it's just not it. It's not it. And I feel like this kind of ties in with the next reason why your hair is not growing, is that people don't take enough time to actually learn their hair and learn what their hair wants. They just want advice from another person that they see that has nice hair. You know, I used to be that person. Actually, these next 3 points that I'm going to speak about actually tie in nicely. I'll just, I guess, write them down every time I speak of a new reason why your hair is probably not growing. But it's just like, learning your hair is so important, you guys. Like, learning your hair and learning what it needs and wants from you is so important, because I may go and ask someone that I feel like I want my hair to look like theirs, and maybe at face value I think that our hair is exactly the same, but in actual fact it's probably not. You know, there's so many things that may make it different, like hair porosity, for instance, and like I said, things like our genetic growth rates and all of that, it may be different. Now, me asking that person for advice, like, oh, what do you use on your hair, how can I get my hair to look like yours, it's like a very tricky question, because it's just like, as much as our hair maybe may look the same, may be the same texture, her hair porosity may not be the same as mine, but now I want to use the same products as hers, and then they're not gonna work for me, and then now I'm just gonna be mad at everyone. That's why I think it's very important to get to know your hair, know what porosity you are, know your hair texture, know what products work for you and what products don't. Like, we all have very different hair, so it's very important to actually learn your hair so that you can better take care of it, instead of just taking advice at face value and then just thinking it's gonna work for you. Which ties into my next point. Like I said, don't become a product junkie. And I feel like it's very easy to become a product junkie when you're just taking in a lot of information from different places and not actually taking the time to find out and learn what your hair actually wants from you. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when I started, how many times have I said, you know what I'm saying? Wow, okay, anyway, I've been natural before, back in high school, like I mentioned earlier, and I remember at that time I was like that person that would listen to smang mang mang and smang mang mang and this and that, and you know what I'm saying, because I felt like I wanted my hair to look like hers. So obviously if I use these products, my hair is gonna look like hers, you know. And then I'll see another person that I like and she's saying something different, and I see another person or whatever, not taking into account the fact that we have different hair porosities, we have different growth rates, we have different textures, we live in different areas. All those things play a huge role in like how your hair actually grows and how it's gonna react to different things and different regimens, you know. So that's why I can't stress enough how important it is to actually learn your hair, to do your own hair, to know what it wants from you, instead of just taking in different information. Obviously take advice from people who have done this and they know, and their hair is beautiful and long and thriving, you know. But it's just like, it's also important to know that, okay, if I use this product, I'm gonna try it out, but then do I actually know if it's for my type of hair, you know, or is it just gonna make things worse? So yeah. And point number 7 is to live a holistic life. And I know this is like easier said than done, but this is not even just for hair only. This is just overall, because your internal environment will be reflected in your external environment. Like if you're not good within, like how you gonna win when you ain't right within?
Come again.
But no, seriously, like on a serious note, I feel like taking care of yourself from the inside out is really gonna show in your hair, how shiny and like healthy your hair actually is, because of the things that you're feeding it, like from the inside out, you know, the way it grows out on your skin, everything. So I just feel like you know, we just need to be more mindful about what we put into our bodies. And I'm not to say now like stop eating this and that and don't eat junk food at all, like no, I just feel like, you know, just be a little bit more mindful. Also just eat a lot of foods that contain vitamins that are necessary for hair growth. Vitamins such as vitamin A, B, C, D, and E. I'm basically just saying the alphabet at this point, but all those vitamins are very necessary for hair growth. So, you know, bear that in mind when you consuming food and all of that. Also try and limit the stress in your life. I know this is the hardest thing to do because life happens, you know, but stress can increase shedding and it can also shorten your anagen phase. And I mean, who would want to do that? Why would you want to do that? Because the goal is to grow this hair long, healthy, and strong, right? I'm lying, that's not everyone's goal, by the way. Point number 8 is to maintain moisture protein balance. This is like goes back to knowing your hair. Okay, so it's just like I know a lot of us are still concerned about like keeping our hair moisturized, always doing these high moisture treatments, you know, leave-in conditioners have a whole lot of moisture and all of that, which is good. But then at the same time, I feel like a lot of us neglect the fact that our hair actually needs protein because it is made up of protein, you know. And most of the time when we do a whole lot of these moisture treatments, it can actually deteriorate the protective layer around our hair. So that's when like you would go in with a protein treatment, and that would rebuild the protective layer and just kind of strengthen your hair. So this goes back to listening to your hair again. Like I said, when your hair is like very mushy and like it's too elastic, that's when you should probably go in with like a protein treatment, but a very mild one, because if you overdo it, then your hair can be very stiff and like brittle. And when your hair is at that point, then you want to go in with like, don't even let it get to that point, by the way, but you would want to go in with like a moisture treatment, you know what I'm saying? So it's very important to be aware that we also need protein treatments. You know, I know a lot of us don't really do those. I know I don't, and I think that's why rice water really worked for me so much, because rice water does contain a small amount of protein, and I think just applying that every day kind of did help with like strengthening my hair again. So yeah. And point number 9, the last point, is reduce the friction to your hair. So if you're wearing your hair out like this, for instance, I wouldn't have a low pony that's like touching my back for a long or an extended period, because that's gonna cause a lot of friction, like especially if I'm gonna be wearing, let's say, a jacket, that's gonna cause a lot of friction on my hair, and especially on the ends of my hair. And we don't want that, because like I said, your ends are the most fragile because they've been exposed to the environment much longer than your hair by the roots. So we want to protect them. If you are gonna wear your hair low, like in a low bun, like just make sure that your ends are protected and tucked in nicely. Also, when you go to bed, guys, there's no more time to be wearing umgusha, guys. Sibatala, hey. That was when we were still kids and we didn't know, we were not informed. Now you have to wear a satin scarf, or you have to wear at least a satin bonnet. I just wear satin scarf, and I also like wearing caps, and because they also cause a lot of friction because they don't have any protective like material inside, I added like a satin material inside my cap because there isn't any caps available, correct me if I'm wrong, in South Africa that have that. So that's what I do to just limit the friction on my head, because a whole lot of friction can cause your hair to break. And like I said, breakage is the enemy. That's enemy of progress. So we don't need that. We don't need that. But yeah, I hope you guys found these, I wouldn't even call them tips, but I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope it will make your journey a little bit easier. And if you still have questions, feel free to ask me. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. I love you for watching.